SubCulture. I am excited tonight. I have a special guest. I have Dr. Jay Wright. He is not only is he a natural pro figure competitor, but he is a chiropractor. So he has a full-time office. Owns his own business. He also is a prep coach. He's a dad. So he has a lot going on. I'm really excited to talk to him tonight, not only just to see how he balances this all, but just to see how his professional career has kind of led him into. Yes, he's a pro bodybuilder, but I still kind of call it a hobby. But I want to see how all of this plays together and where it all started. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. Here we go. Let's bring him in. Hello, Jay. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I see we have a little friend.
Yes, this is my daughter Tegan. I don't know if she can you
Hi.
say hi.
He's adorable. So the first thing I wanted to ask you was, okay, let's hear a little bit of backstory. So sports, I'm sure, were always part of your life,
Absolutely.
right? And did you play sports in college?
So I started off playing football and running track in high school. Played baseball as well. Um, Played football in college on a scholarship, and also ran track in college. So, and then just from there, everything, the whole fitness thing, just took off. And without fitness, I think I would be a whole different person. So it's made me who I am.
Right. Now, when you started college, did you already have like a professional path? Were you like, I want to be a chiropractor, or like I want to get in, or or did your love for sports kind of evolve into something that, like, professionally, that you would be able to kind of merge the two?
So funny story. My original plan was to be a civil engineer. I wanted to do aviation. I wanted to do civil engineering. Then one thing led to another. I got into training. I got into football. I got into track. And like things just started clicking for me. I took a nutrition class, and that just made everything turn a whole 360 and went down the physical therapy realm of my career or in college. And then from there, it led me to be a personal trainer and chiropractor as well.
All right. So is there like a flight school in your future?
No, I don't think you want me flying planes.
No, we're not going to add pilot to the list of things that you do.
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay. All right.
Maybe when I retire, that's at like 70 years old.
Oh, that's great. So, why don't you tell people a little bit about your studio and how that's all set up? I actually want to run just a little video that I took when I was down there in your office. So, I don't know if I have so much of the training side, but I definitely have your office side of it. So kind of explain how your office or your facility is laid out and how you did that really quite intentionally. And
Mhm.
we'll start there.
Okay, so for starters, my business is called FIT, and it's an acronym for Performance Health and Integrative Training. And I've always been in fitness, I've always been into health, I've always been into wellness. And then after personal training, I got into chiropractic, and my love for chiropractic and my love for fitness kind of molded together, and it became I wanted to put performance, and I wanted to put health, and I wanted to put chiropractic all in one. And so my studio is laid out to where it is an open chiropractic office. Then as you pan all the way to the other side, it is all personal training. It's like a gym. So we have squat racks, we have row machines, we have dumbbells, we have kettlebells, we have um, weightlifting platform. So we it's kind of an all-encompassing layout. So if a person coming in wanting to train, they can also see a person getting adjusted or getting worked on in chiropractic, and vice versa. If I have a chiropractic patient that comes in, they can also see everyone working out, training, and one inspires the other, if that makes
Right, for
sense.
sure.
Mhm.
And I remember when I was there, I goes, has anybody ever asked for like a petition or something of that nature? And you said that doesn't really happen. Like,
It has not happened. No, I think when they walk in, they're shocked, they're taken back, because I think in most chiropractic offices, you walk into an adjusting room, and I wanted to kind of get away from that and have it all mold together. And that's the only kind of setback I get. Is just, oh, it's all open. Yes, and then they get used to it. So it molds well with them.
Nice. Nice. So right here, this is actually he's a one of your employees that you're adjusting right here, and he's actually a power lifter, and works there with you. And I guess he gets adjustments every once in a while. That's not a bad gig.
Absolutely, that is Jerry. He is one of the trainers there. He's a pretty big dude, and in order to keep him lifting the way he does and moving the way he does a lot of movement, functional movement, stretching, and he also obviously gets adjusted.
So that's something I wanted to ask you. As athletes, and especially as natural athletes, how important is it for us to visit a chiropractor or to have adjustments? And is there any benefit to doing that regularly?
Oh, absolutely. I always recommend, if not once a week, once a month. It's just like going to the dentist or getting an oil change. In order for something to run properly, you need to make sure that things are in the proper alignment. And it cannot do that if you are one, out of whack or out of alignment. If two, you have any kind of muscle restriction or muscle tightness. So in order for you to move the weight or feel the way you want to feel and be productive in society, whether it's running or working out or just playing with your kids,
Mm-hmm.
getting adjusted on a regular basis is something that is extremely beneficial, and I highly recommend it to any and everyone who can.
So let me ask you this. On the flip side, if you do have something out of balance or there is something that you're not addressing, like what are some of the injuries or some of the negative things that can result from somebody maybe not taking care of that?
I'm so sorry. Say that one more time.
So let's say somebody is out of alignment or there is an issue that they're not addressing properly. Like what are some of the negative effects that can happen if they are not addressed? Because,
Oh,
we're athletes. We think we're tough, right?
absolutely. So one, you can it can lead to injuries. If you are trying to, this is the way I put it in layman's term. If you cannot move your own body weight without pain, without discomfort, without anything that's hurting you, then it makes no sense to me to add weight onto you to try to move excess weight if you can't move your own. So in order for a person to be able to move that weight, they need to have their bodies in proper alignment, muscles nice and relaxed, or malleable, as I like to say. And if you're not doing that, then your movements can be hindered, your gait can be hindered, which is the way you walk, the way you get up and sit down, the way you lay down or get up from your bed can be hindered as well. So it kind of plays a role in every aspect of your life if you're not getting adjusted or getting some kind of treatment done to your body.
Yeah, no, I have to say, I went to a chiropractor for the first time. I'm 42. I went for the first time last year. And one of the things that he pointed out immediately was I did have an imbalance and it was affecting my posing. So, as bodybuilders, we know how important posing is and symmetry and that type of thing. And wow, like I never would have guessed that. So, yeah, it could be something that small.
Absolutely.
I wasn't able to kind of like I'm in figure, so I wasn't able to like really torque to one side, kind of like I do on the other, and it was noticeable.
hmm And one of the things that I do in my office, and just to add to that, is when muscles are restricted, when fascia, which is the tissues that covers your muscle, when that is restricted as well, you cannot spread your lats, or you cannot stand tall in the pose, or you cannot do a double bicep pose because things won't spread out as much as they need to. So that's why I incorporate Graston. Graston is a soft tissue technique that I utilize. It's with a stainless steel tool. I call it a necessary evil because it does hurt a little bit, but it's a hurt so good kind of pain where we break up those adhesions in the muscles with the fascia, and we kind of open up that muscle so that the blood flow can increase, the circulation can increase, and you're able to get that lat spread, or you're able to stand taller in your pose. And one of the other things I also like to do with that is active cupping, which is cupping in and of itself, but active cupping as well.
So let's see what like, when cupping really became popular. Would you say it was the Olympics when people were seeing? I'm going to throw up some images here, but I'm sure everyone remembers these images. There was so much chatter, right? When they
Absolutely,
saw
yep.
Michael Phelps in his cupping bruises, I guess. And
hmm
why don't you tell us a little bit about the benefits of that? I actually put a poll real quick. I put a poll on my Instagram last week because I was just curious on what some of the athletes were thinking about this. And I got a lot of positive feedback from athletes.
Aha, yes, yes. And I would not expect anything less if they know about cupping and what cupping can do for them. Um, Michael Phelps made it popular, but cupping's been around for quite some time. He just made it mainstream so that everyone would know about it and everyone started asking about it and what it was and how does it work. But cupping is extremely beneficial in that it creates a negative pocket to increase blood flow, increase range of motion, relaxes the muscle, and kind of relieve a lot of tension in areas where you may have some let's just say restriction or pain on range of motion and moving, just everyday moving.
Okay. No,
One of the things I like to take it to the next level, and a lot of my patients will know about this, is that active cupping to me, it's everything. So, and that's where you put on the cups and you go
right.
through your normal range of motion, or if it's a bench press or a shoulder shrug or something that is hindering on you, so that we can break up that adhesion, increase that muscle flow, and increase that range of motion.
I actually saw there's a video on your Instagram and there's a young lady doing, it looks like she's kind of doing like a half pull up.
Mm-hmm.
Is that exactly what you're referring to?
Absolutely. We were trying to get her lats to relax. She was always heavy, tight in her upper back and in her lats. So we tried to get that to loosen up a little bit. And lo and behold, we did that.
I'm going to show them exactly what you're talking about here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Right there,
now,
what we're trying to do. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
What we're trying to do is we're trying to get her traps to open up, her traps to relax so that we can increase her range of motion because she gets so not locked up and knotted up in those regions. She comes to me, she goes, I'm just broken, fix me. And this is one of the things where we did.
No, that's great that you can do that. So, I had to go to the internet and do some research on this. And, there's always like the flip side where people are like, well, it's the placebo effect and it's not really doing anything. But then you have people, they're like, well, why are the Olympic athletes doing this? It has to be something. And then they say, well, when you get to that level, right? When you get, and you can relate to this, when you get to a pro level, you say to yourself, is it, if it's not hurting you, right? And if it's going to give you any kind of like what they call like marginal gains, right? Even if
Mm-hmm.
it's just at that level, even if it's just a fraction of an advantage, why not do it, right?
Why not, right? Yes, exactly. Exactly. Every little inch counts.
Every little inch, especially, yeah, from being a collegiate athlete and a pro athlete now. So and it sounds very relaxing. That was the feedback I was getting on my from the athletes, was they just enjoy it. It's
Mm-hmm.
relaxing. It breaks up, like you said, it relaxes their muscles.
For
So
sure.
no, that's great.
Absolutely.
So there's so many, and I'm sure that you guys are always in the chiropractic like studies. Like you guys are probably always getting introduced to new methods, new techniques. How do you stay? How do you stay on top of all of that?
One, you have to do what is called continuing education. I think that's for every professional out there. They know what their CEs are. Um, and with that, when you go to these seminars, well, pre-COVID, when you went to these seminars, you will have these subset of classes that you would take, and you can go into those classes, and they are specifically to what you like to practice or how you like to practice, and that's how I stay up and involved with a lot of the new advances in my field. We go to
Yeah,
those classes, they learn a ton, and then you take it back to try to put it to work in your practice.
I love it. I love it. And now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to. Is there anything else you wanted to add as far as your business? You're also a prep coach
Yes, ma'am,
on
I
top
am.
of all of this.
Yes, yes, I am. One of the things that I love about being a prep coach is to see people's faces when, in the beginning, before they even started, who don't even have an idea that they want to compete. go from that person to holy crap, I did this in this short amount of time, and I'm on stage with this physique that I have. And then it's mind blowing, and it's comforting to me to help people realize that any and everything is possible. You just have to have the drive and the determination to do so.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you say like your best success story or the most wow moment of being a prep coach or even a lifestyle coach has been for you?
Hmm.
Like a specific story. We want to hear the details.
All right, so there's a couple of them, but one of the ones that actually this is a good one, and I think you know her, but I started with this young lady, and she had just a lot of issues in regards to abdomen problems and just like trying to get her body to look a certain way.
Okay.
She didn't have competing in her mind when I first approached her. Um, Come back, I think it's like a year or two around, and we make a trip, and she goes, "I want to compete in the show." Oh, okay. Well, then do you know what that entails? Yes. Okay. So it's the meals, it is the cardio, it is the working out, it is the working out when you don't want to and eating when you don't want to, but to get to where you need to go, you know that that's your goal, that's your mindset. And for her to go from this person to a person who competed in her first show, she won, I think, three out of the four categories she was in, and now
Right.
she's a pro now. I haven't trained her in a while, but she's a pro now and she's doing really well.
Yes. Yes. Oh, you know what? This reminds me. There was one other thing I wanted to ask you about. Aside, it kind of ties into being like a prep coach and and nutrition and those type of things. I did notice in your office you had a product. One of the things that we see mainstream, like on Facebook, Instagram. We always see things like detox teas, flushes,
Fat.
all these different things that people kind of these traps that people fall into, thinking that they're quick fixes and they're going to lose 10 pounds or whatever. But there was
Mhm.
something that I saw in your office that was interesting, and I want you to elaborate on it. I'm going to throw it up here on the screen, and you tell us about this product and how it's different and why you would recommend it. There we
Okay.
go. Standard. This is called standard
Ah,
process. Yeah.
yes, that's in the process. So this product, this is, I think, one of the things that really changed my life since chiropractic school. I was introduced to the standard process when I was in chiropractic school. Started taking it while I was in chiropractic school. Got big on it after getting out of school and selling it in my practice. Then we got introduced to this 21-day purification. This 21-day, so my little secret, but this 21-day is
Oh,
what
no.
I take to start my prep every single time. I do three of these a year, and anytime I start a prep, I start off with this, and then I go from there. But what it does is it kind of resets your body, and it does it in such where you're not just drinking juice or you're doing a water cleanse or anything like that. It is something that will introduce whole foods into your body to
Mm-hmm.
where you can utilize them and burn it off as energy. Meanwhile, it's not meant for a weight loss supplement. It is meant to reset your gut, your gut flora, your like anything that has to do with your abdomen. But one
Right.
of the awesome side effects is that you can lose anywhere between 10, 15, or 20 pounds on this. It changes lives. It changes your complexion. It changes how you feel. It changes your energy level. It changes how you digest food and how you utilize foods. So I stand by this 1,000 times over because it has worked for me and it's worked for my family. It's the chocolate shake. My daughter drinks one a night. We give it to her before she goes to bed. She drinks a chocolate shake every night.
Really? That's
Absolutely.
that's amazing. That's amazing. So now that we kind of learned everything about you professionally, I'm sure that's not everything, but we've touched on it, right? I love what
Right.
you're doing. You're down in Longwood. That's where your office is located, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Longwood, Florida. So yeah, anybody in the local area looking for somebody amazing, they should definitely stop by. Now we were going to touch a little bit on you as an athlete and as a professional bodybuilder and classic physique competitor, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I am going to bring in, I have a co-host tonight. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in so everybody can welcome Daryl DeVore. He is the promoter of the Florida State. And he's going to I'm going to let him take over and you guys can talk bodybuilding. Here we go. Hey,
Hey,
Daryl.
man.
Oh, wait, let me get him off. Let me get him off mute. Boom, there we go. Hello, Daryl.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, Jay, it's a funny story because me and Jay, a lot of years actually. He was actually our chiropractor before he had his own practice when he was trying to keep me upright through my Ironman triathlon days,
Yes.
which I'm sure he remembers very well.
Mhm.
And I remember that this one individual he was talking about earlier about getting into a competition may or may not have been my wife. He's been a great family friend for a lot of years. He's been our doctor. He's been our friend, and I've competed with him also, not against him, thank God, because I would never try to do that on a bet. But going to your bodybuilding career, I've kind of seen it evolve over the last few years in some of the organizations you've competed in and some of the shows that you've done. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what kind of shows that you've done, where you've actually competed, and how you fared over the last few years?
Okay. Well, it all started way back in 2013 when my wife was actually competing. She started off competing in NPC, went to a couple of her shows, and I was like, wow, this looks pretty cool. Maybe I can do this. I started competing. Turns out I was fairly decent at it, and it just took off from there. So I've done the Diana Cadot in NPC. I've done the Florida Gold Cup. I've done the Team U. I've done the Pittsburgh Naturals or All Star stuff in Pittsburgh for all NPCs. And then recently with the NGA, I've done the Universe. I've done the Gator. I've done the Florida, I think it was Florida Naturals last year. And then with that,
Yep, absolutely.
and then it was the IFBB Physique America, which is one that allows me to compete internationally. And I placed third at the Arnold in Barcelona. I came in second at the Miami Grand Prix. With a lot of my NGA shows, it's been awesome. I came in first at the Thunder. I came in second at the Gator this past year, and also came in second in the Florida Cup last year as well.
Well, and as a pro, I know I've seen you get your pro card in the NGA in bodybuilding and in classic physique. You're one of those individuals that I don't know if Sammy has any B-roll to throw up with some of your shows. You're one of those genetic freaks, is what people like to refer to you as, because it's true. Your muscle bellies, your lines, your stage presence, your posing. I mean, you've got the whole package. And what was why I want to go and dip my toes into the natural organizations with the NGA?
Okay. Minor correction. I like to call it a lot of hard work and dedication, not just gifted freak, but
No. That's don't get me wrong, big guy. Yeah, I could work out 10 times harder than you, and I wouldn't look like you if I had Photoshop.
So one of my aha moments was I had a competition at Team U, and it was one of the deciding factors to where I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna try something different, and that led to a stardom in a whole different federation, and from that federation led to another federation. So it was just it's been great, and that moment was one of those defining moments for me.
So do you feel like being with a natural organization, it puts you as a natural athlete on a more even playing field, being a non-enhanced athlete?
Correct.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
And words.
Well,
Correct. Yep.
well, and she's got some stuff going up right now, and let me tell you right now, there's been a lot of posts with a lot of other athletes to watch for 2021, but I don't think there's another athlete out there that needs to be watched more than you in 2021, because everything that you've got, and I know what you're going to bring this year is going to be something pretty fantastic. Going on, what are your plans for 2021? What do you got going on?
So I have a few shows in line as of right now, and they are in 3 different federations. So there's an NPC show that I may compete in on I think it's the 8th of May, and the name escapes me. You can help me out with that, Daryl. Which one was that one?
Is that the Lee Banks?
It's unsanctioned.
Yes.
No, actually, the Lee Banks is an unsanctioned natural event. He's an IFBB pro, but he decided to go a totally unsanctioned event to bring in all of the best natural athletes without having to worry about federation heat, I guess, for lack of a better word, to give everybody an opportunity to compete against each other and see who the best of the best actually are. I'll actually be at the Lee Banks show, watching you actually, and I believe Sammy's actually doing the live stream with SubCulture, which everybody can tune into as well.
Yes.
Yeah, which is gonna be fantastic.
So that's one of the ones that I'm going to do. Also, I'm going to do the Florida Pro. That's in. That's June 5th.
That sounds like a great show.
You think so?
I've heard a lot about that show, and I think it's going to be a fantastic event. I mean, just as my shameless plug for myself and my show, on June 5th in Lake Mary, Florida.
Yes.
But
on June 25th, which is the Florida Classic, and that's an IFBB Physique America show, and that's going to be a pretty big show as well. So those 3 shows right now are on my radar. I may pop up in April to do the Florida Surge. That's a possibility. So right now we have a handful of shows that I am going to do.
Well, now, and actually, the IFBB Pro League is the one that you actually went to the Arnold in Barcelona with, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic. Now, just to go in a tiny bit different direction, because I full disclosure, I know Jay and his family and his children, and they're fantastic people. And Sammy touched on it a little bit, so I am a little bit biased toward this dude because I think this cat's just an amazing cat. How do you mold or meld the professional with the competition with the family? Because that's a big ask. That's a lot going on all under one roof.
Absolutely. Well, it takes an awesome, caring, and loving wife to be able to do so. She, like I said before, she's competed, and she knows the dedication and the amount of training and the grueling long days that it takes. And we have 2 little ones, so there's times where I work out, come home, we do our bath time, bedtime, everything. And then you go back and do cardio. So it's long, nice, but it helps when you have a partner wife that understands what you're going through. And to be 100% honest with you, who will put up with it. So.
Well, and this is something that we haven't touched on yet. She's also a doctor as well.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. She is. She is a chiropractic physician for a big company out there as well.
Which keeping it all in the family, which, like you said, makes it a little bit easier when everybody understands the grind, because it's definitely a different type of grind.
Absolutely.
for doing what we do.
It is definitely a different type of grind, especially when you have those nights where we call them date nights, right? Because you have little kids and you have nights without the kids, so you go out, you try to go out somewhere. Well, when you're in prep, those date nights are either at home where you're cooking a prep meal, or you're going somewhere that keep it healthy, and you're going straight back home. There's no like having drinks or anything like that. So,
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, bro. I just wanted to bring in the spouse there a little bit, because I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Tara, and all this. She'd probably smack me the next time I saw her.
Possibly. Man.
No, I love that. I love so I mean that you're able to find that balance, and it definitely helps that your wife understands what you're doing because she's done it before. You'll find that happens with a lot of couples where one just they just can't relate to why we would even do this to ourselves. Like,
Yes,
why?
exactly.
But yeah, so no, this was wonderful. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. And Jay, we're definitely going to be watching you this season. I think there's some really big things getting ready to happen. And it's coming up quick. You're like
Yes,
weeks out now.
absolutely. So
But
we're in
thank-
prep right now. So everything is just on the grind now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when does it hit you the hardest? Like, when do you start to slow down and say, "Oh man," or are you pretty level all through prep?
I would say I'm pretty leveled all through prep.
Yeah.
But clients and my wife, they're like, oh, yeah, a little on the edgy side. So to me, I stay pretty even keel the whole time through. I think one of the more difficult times is the night before.
Okay. Well, you're
Yeah.
almost there by that point.
Exactly. And you just want to get on stage and just show what you've done and just kill it, you know?
Yeah, and I've seen you at shows. You always look like you're having a good time backstage. So,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
If you're not having fun, then why are you doing it?
Right. I mean, and the people that we meet in the sport, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason
Absolutely.
that's one of the reasons that this whole thing started was, and I say this all the time, was I'd meet so many amazing people backstage with so many incredible stories. And I'm like, they can't just stay backstage. Like, people need to hear these stories. Even like you expressed earlier with your own client with Holly, like, that's a great story. To go from not even really knowing the sport to pro level.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's so awesome and so inspiring. Because you started it later in life too.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a young.
I will chime in on this one. My wife is an itty bitty, kind of like Sammy, but even smaller. She's 4'11", and thanks to Jay, transformation. In a year, and won her first show and started the bug and put her on her road and was extremely instrumental in her getting her pro card. Mm-hmm. So, I give all the credit to Jay. I mean, he transformed her life, her attitude, her mindset, her lifestyle. And I know for a fact, I know a lot of his clients that I've met over the years, and he does the same thing for them. So it's an awesome thing to have somebody that actually takes the time and cares about the clients and really puts in the man hours to make sure that they're successful, which a lot of the internet, here's your diet plan for $500, you never hear from me again, and you can't get a response, and where did they go, and no check-ins. That's not what you get with this cat. You get the real deal because he is the real deal.
That reminds me, did I hear this right, Jay, that you actually meal prep for some of your clients?
Yes, you heard that correctly.
How could they not be successful, right?
Exactly, right? You have it all there. Just do the work.
Do the work. You are prepping their meals. Like, yeah, you are setting them up for success for sure.
Absolutely, yes. But I think I can't take all the credit. I've also, for some of my clients, I've enlisted the help of another gentleman as well. And his meal prep is beyond what I can do because he does it medicinally. He caters it to that person's specific body frame, body shape, body type. And if they have a medical illness or ailment, he can cook it to that specific modification. And I'm going to give him a short plug if that's okay.
Absolutely. That's what this is
He
for.
is my awesome friend, Chef Dale at Beast Mills. If you guys are able to check him out, I highly recommend it because he can do crazy things with food. And he makes this keto soup. I'm not a keto person, but I eat that soup every single day. So,
I love
delicious.
it. No, we'll drop his you can drop his link in the comments too, so people can find him, connect with him if that's something they're interested in. I love to network and definitely give people that deserve it shout outs. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap it up and thank you guys for being here. Anything last minute or last thoughts from either one of you? Just go ahead.
I'll let Jay take the lead on this one. You go first, my brother.
Well, I heard a saying today that if you're not changing or if you're not evolving, then you're just stuck. So every day you wake up, try to be the better image of yourself from the day previous. Wake up, grind, stay positive. Everything will turn out just fine.
I love that.
Yeah, awesome. I'll just I posted something and I said something a couple of months ago that I didn't even realize that would resonate with people as much as it did. I did my before and after picture because I got conned into competing for the first time in 26 years last year, which I said I would not do until I turned 50, by the way. And my before picture was 220 pounds pre-diabetic, and my show weight was 148. And I said, don't let the only person stopping you be you. That really seemed to resonate, and that's what I just want to like translate, or not really translate, but that's what I want to put out to everybody out there that's watching. Don't let the only person stopping you be you. Take the steps. Find the right people, surround yourself with the people that's going to help you out the most, that has the knowledge, that's going to put you in the best frame of mind, the best physical condition, the best nutritional, output for whatever your body actually needs to do, whatever it is you're looking to do, whether it be compete or just lose weight or just be a healthier person in general. But don't let the only person stopping you be you. And hey, I'm just glad I got a chance to hang out with Sammy and Jay tonight and kind of highlight, a fantastic athlete that a lot of people may not know that's out there, but a lot more people are going to know
Jay
after
Wright.
this year because he's going to be making some serious waves.
Yeah, and I also want to thank you, Sammy, for having me. It's been amazing. I love the opportunity. This has been a lot of fun, and you as well, Daryl. Thank you guys both so much for actually having me on here.
Yes, and where can they find you? Like, what is your email, your website, Instagram? I have your Instagram here, but any other social media?
Facebook, you can find me at Fit Squad. My website is J, the letter J, PHITNESS.com. You can find any and everything out about me. That's chiropractic care, and that is personal training, all of the above. And you can also find me obviously on the Instagram at JFit1279.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you again, guys, and we will we'll do this post show so we can talk about how all that goes down here in a couple months.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Like the post show wrap up, right? Gotta
Yes.
have that. No,
You have
seriously.
I will look maybe 50 pounds skinnier. It's gonna be so full.
That's great. That's great. All right, guys, have a great night. Thank you again. And thank you for everybody for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and share it.